Hello and welcome to the Quincy Access Television Studios. I'm Mark Crosby. Thank you for joining us for In the Know, a program that helps you basically to keep informed. And if you are familiar with the program, you would know that the Sheriff of Norfolk County is often a guest on this series, and he is joining us here today as we kick off spring. Sheriff Patrick McDermott. Sheriff, welcome back.
Looking to the weather today, it looks as though we might have seen spring officially arrive. I don't want to jinx us because I know we've had past problems with snow coming in April, but I think we're in good shape.
I hope you're right. I'm no fan of the cold or the snow.
No.
Today's topic, we are going to be talking about community partnerships.
Yeah, community, this is what it all comes down to at the end of the day. You know, as sheriff, my job is, the day-to-day job is the care and custody of men who are incarcerated up to 2.5 years at the House of Correction. But I really go around and talk to residents and community members about public safety issues, which tend, when public safety is broken, that usually leads to criminal behavior, which leads to incarceration, and hence why the sheriff's office is in business. But so we like to focus on what makes a community feel safe, what makes a community safe, and it's our partnerships with nonprofits, our partnerships with job development agencies to focus on some of the issues that can make a community less safe. Economic insecurity, lack of jobs, lack of education, housing insecurity. Still another issue, both housing and food insecurity going on to this day. So we need to stay vigilant on all those things to make sure that people have all of the resources they need to make sure that they feel safe in their community and hence live a prosperous life.
For folks who have been tuning in, they would know that we have talked about the Vanessa Marcotte Foundation on previous shows. We will talk about them here again today, and we also have some photos to show of a training session.
So the Vanessa Marcotte Foundation is a great partnership that we have. They're based out of Worcester County, and my colleague Sheriff Evangelitis kind of suggested that I take a look at the foundation, see whether or not I wanted to be them in Norfolk County as an opportunity. And for those that might not know or have seen our previous shows, Vanessa Marcotte was a young woman visiting her mother up in Worcester County, and she was out for a jog, in the middle of the day, and tragically she was assaulted and killed by a male assailant. And horrific tragedy, and her friends and family wanted to bring forth something positive from a horrific, tragic moment. And so they started the Vanessa Marcotte Foundation, which basically builds upon self-defense techniques, and as my colleague Sheriff Evangelitis says, there's survival techniques for people that might be out in the community that could be in danger of being assaulted, and that could happen to any one of us at any time. So the Vanessa Marcotte Foundation predominantly focuses on women of all ages that come into a training. It's a 2-hour, 3-hour at most training that teaches survival techniques in the event that you are attacked by an assailant. And we kicked off our program last month at our Braintree Public Safety Complex. We were packed, as you can see in the photo. We were sold out for that initial event. And the way that this works is the Vanessa Marcotte trainers actually come in and train our people to be the actual trainers. And so this event was kicked off, like I said, last month at our Braintree Public Safety Complex. 45 women were there participating. It was a great opportunity for our trainers to kind of get their feet wet a little bit and understand a little bit more about how the program is going to be run so that we can branch off and do our own training under the Vanessa Marcotte flag. So we're getting really excited. These are our trainers from the Sheriff's Office here. Fantastic group of folks who dedicated public safety officials that are now giving more back to the community. And we have over 100 potential people that are on our waiting list right now, and that's just from our initial marketing. I expect that once we actually get this out really into the community throughout all 28 towns, this is going to be an ongoing program that will be saving lives.
And as you had mentioned, a tragedy turned positive.
Exactly.
Let's talk about some other training and look at virtual reality training.
So I think, especially the young folks, I'm not sure how many of our older watchers, including, folks our age and older,
You can say that. I'm okay with that.
are into virtual reality stuff. It's basically the craze these days. I mean, you go out and buy an Oculus camera from Meta, and you can go into virtual reality rooms and, play games. It's all kinds of fun. But virtual reality can also play a very pivotal role in public safety. Public safety officials are using high-resolution virtual reality settings for their training. So whereas, back in the day, our police training for active shooters and a few other public safety issues, you'd actually have to be going out into the community, rent a facility or lock down, a school that isn't in use, go in there and actually work through various scenarios. Fast forward to the 21st century, we can now set up pairs of officers who can go into a virtual reality zone through goggles. And Apex Security, which is being shown here, our Canton Police Department, we brought it out to them. And there are hundreds of scenarios that can be put on virtual reality training. Different things about de-escalation tactics, active shooters, car chases. There's a whole host of things that you can put on the virtual reality training. What's great about it is it allows for real-time training to be going on when you see the actual reality. It's not like back in the day when we were playing, as mentioned earlier, Atari or Intellivision or ColecoVision. This stuff is high-resolution, real scenarios that you feel like you're right in the scenario and you have a 360-degree view of what's happening. And the trainers are actually in the room, and they can actually create different scenarios based upon your responses to a particular situation. So there's literally thousands of situations that can go on, and depending on the level of training that we're trying to get out of our participants, it will end up being a great program. So we purchased it at the Sheriff's Office. We use it for our own training. But there's so many scenarios that I had to share it with other people. And I'm sure that there's going to be more opportunities for fire safety and other public safety opportunities for it as well.
Very interesting. And as you had mentioned, we, at least back in our day, things like that were really for gaming, but it has changed.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, the gaming industry is huge, but we, in the public safety realm, all of these technologies, I see them at every conference I go to. And they're amazing what they're doing, and it's great for the officers because they're placed in a scenario that they're safe, but it's high-level training that they desperately need, and there's more opportunity and more frequency of the training than you would typically have without it. So it's less organized. It's literally just show up, put the goggles on, and let's go.
Let's talk next about the Public Safety Alliance and collaborations with municipalities, public safety agencies.
This is a 2-year project in the making. I am very happy to watch this roll out officially this spring. We've had some soft build up to it over the last year. And this is a partnership that we have with the district attorney, Mike Morrissey. I brought in the Norfolk County Treasurer, Michael Bellotti, certainly for his past experience as sheriff, and somebody who started the Triad program back when he was sheriff. And this is kind of a growth from the Triad program, which brings in a partnership with our councils on aging. And we've expanded to health departments, veteran service officers, all municipal agencies that really make up what a community could call public safety and what makes people feel safe. And this Public Safety Alliance will go town by town and create basically a model for how we want to operate in Norfolk County. Lots of programs are out there, and what we don't want to see is duplication of effort. We need to be as efficient as possible, and this alliance will give us that opportunity to bring everybody under the same tent and be able to share resources, share ideas, and really develop a program that we think will once again save lives down the road. Educational programs, scam prevention, all the stuff that we do for our seniors. We're rolling out a huge partnership with our schools, probably in the fall. We're going to be winding down the school year pretty soon. But all of these programs really create an opportunity for people to really feel safe in their community. So the Public Safety Alliance is going to be a signature piece for the Sheriff's Office and hopefully for each municipality that I represent.
Speaking of safety, let's talk, if we could, about the Are You OK program.
Another program which is absolutely fantastic. It's been going on for years. It's going through now a 10x moment. We are renovating the program. It has been around for years. We've had some great participation for many years, predominantly with seniors. The program was designed for seniors who are living at home by themselves, that need that extra insurance policy of safety, that receives a phone call every day from the Sheriff's Office. And when a person doesn't respond to that phone call, we initiate some protocol that might eventually lead to first responders going out to that individual's home, and it's saved lives. I say we're expanding it only because our partnership for years has been with Fallon Ambulance. They've scaled down their operations a lot, and so we have had to pivot a little bit. We still have a partnership with them, but we need to expand that and find a better location for it, update our technology. My goal is to have 10,000 people on this system. In order for us to do that, we need to increase our technology as well as our volunteers. Because up till now, we've had either one or two members of the Sheriff's Office plus some Fallon employees helping us out monitor the calls. And we've had a couple hundred people on the list, which is great and very manageable.
And there have been saves.
There has been saves, and we don't want to reduce the quality, because the quality is we make sure that every one of those phone calls are monitored and responded to. And so the saves obviously are the proof in the pudding that it works. And we've had several under my tenure as sheriff. We had a recent one they were just feeling off and needed somebody to speak to, and Cheryl, who was in charge of our program, was able to call a relative. I called a next door neighbor to go in and check on that person, and sure enough, they weren't feeling well, but they just needed some assistance. So those are the little things that we do, but they mean everything to the person that's on the receiving end. So if we're going to get 10,000 people on there, we need partnerships. Hence again, our community partnerships that we have, and we're partnering up with another great Norfolk County program with the Norfolk County Commissioners called the Retired Senior Volunteer Program, the RSVP program. Hopefully RSVP will partner up with Are You OK? And with the amount of volunteers I think we'll be able to sustain getting 10,000 or more customers on that Are You OK? Program. So it's going to be an ambitious agenda over the next few months, but looking forward to rolling that out.
Very good. Sounds great. The partnership there with the RSVP program sounds perfect.
Yeah, they do a lot of work right now already with veterans. They do Meals on Wheels. They drive people to doctor's appointments. And so I applaud what they've done, Rob Pearson and his crew, and certainly our county commissioners who've developed that program over the years. There's hundreds of seniors that do, in their retirement, looking for something to do. They're always wanting to give back, which is always great about folks. They're not looking just to get out and retire, play golf, head to Florida. People actually do wonderful things. So we're looking to partner up with them. We know that they'll provide some valuable service for us.
Let's look now at justice-involved individuals and, I guess, a way to ensure continued success.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's my number one role, is to make sure that we take care of those that fall off the wayside a little bit, do end up in the criminal justice system, end up convicted, being sent to our facility. But as I say to many folks, I say it to those that are watching, I say it to the elected officials, the men who are convicted and are sent to jail, they are coming back to live amongst you in your community. And so my goal as the sheriff, while those individuals are in my care and custody, I want to make sure that they're given the skills, the education, the job opportunities, so that they'll be ready when they get back into the community. A lot of the men who are in my care and custody suffer from mental health issues, substance use disorder, lack of education, lack of job skills. So we've put together a very robust program for justice-involved individuals that allow them opportunities to get their GED, to get mental health counseling. We've got a recovery panel that comes in and helps coach these individuals out of their substance use problems that they have. We've got a medically assisted treatment program at the facility that helps wean people off of opioid addiction. And then we just have a bunch of educational programs that are there: financial literacy, partnerships with schools, making sure that there's an educational opportunity for these individuals. We have a partnership with Northeastern University. We can get college credits while you're incarcerated that hopefully you will take advantage of when you leave our facility. Our community colleges are great. Quincy College, Massasoit Community College. We have a partnership with Massasoit to teach HVAC, get a certificate in heating, air conditioning, and ventilation work. Awesome stuff that's going on. We want to make sure that people take part in all those programs. We want to keep them busy while they're at the facility, and hopefully give them some skills on the outside when they go back into the community.
And talking about continuing education, let's look at culinary education.
Yes.
And the New England Culinary Institute.
So the New England Culinary Institute is coming back. We re-engaged that relationship. They will be teaching those men that are interested and get accepted into the program, basically culinary arts skills. We like to follow where the trends are in the job market, and consistently we're being told that in the hospitality industry there's a huge glut of, there just aren't enough people working in that industry, and they're desperate to get quality people. So we're taking that challenge up. We think that we have several men that do very well in that environment, but they need the training to do so. So this program is set up to teach them basically the skills to get them get into the hospitality industry. And our reentry staff have already identified countless. When I asked Dave McLean, who's our reentry director, I said, "Could you get me a couple of ideas as to what partners we have out in the community?" And I mean, there's big names like Marriott, Hilton, major restaurant chains out there that are very much more than willing to partner up with us and give opportunities to what will hopefully be then formerly incarcerated individuals. And our goal and our commitment to our partners is we're going to make sure they're trained up accordingly, so that when they hit the ground in your restaurant, your hotel, they're going to be ready to work with your guests, work with your current employees, and they'll be productive members of your team.
And I do like what you just said about basically finding out what a community needs.
Correct.
And running with that.
Yeah, and that's what we do. I actually, there's another program that we highlight, a recent signing with the New England, with the Carpenters Union, and they're actually taking some of our guys and putting them right into an apprenticeship program. Why do we do that? We talk about the community needs. Huge needs in the labor industry. There's a lot of construction going on. Labor unions are constantly looking to put more men and women onto their teams. I just had a meeting this morning, actually, with the president of the Norfolk Central Labor Council, Bob Rizzi, who said, "Send them to us. Get bricklayers, laborers, electricians, plumbers, pipe fitters." There are so many opportunities in the building trades, and there's more than enough opportunities coming down the pipeline in terms of construction. I think Bob mentioned to me today, in Quincy alone, there are 4 major union projects that have been permitted that haven't even started yet. So there's great jobs available over the next several years. They need the men and women on the team trained so they can do the job. So that's where the jobs are right now: construction, hospitality. We also have a CDL program that we're talking with the Teamsters Union too, in terms of truckers. Huge issue in terms of trying to get men and women trained up to drive trucks so that they can move goods throughout the United States. And so we want our folks to be able to take advantage of that. At the time right now, I think, and I jokingly say this, we have about 330 men under my care and custody right now. We probably have more programs now than we do people to fill the program. So not that I want more people getting convicted and sent to jail, but those that do can be met at the front door with more opportunities than they probably have ever had.
We will have on screen momentarily a couple of photographs from a fall prevention session. And if you could talk about that, because that is something that is now offered by the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, part of what we do in our partnerships with the councils on aging, we have one of our esteemed staff, Cheryl Bambury, who does so many things for our seniors. But one of the programs that's really popular is fall prevention, and that can happen. You know, we target our seniors once again, but it can really happen to almost anybody. You know, it shows best ways to fall. I mean, if you're going to fall, you might as well learn how to fall correctly, so that you don't injure yourself, or at least injure yourself less than you would have otherwise. So Cheryl does a great program. She shows you how to properly, especially if you're injured or you're frail, how to properly get out of a chair, how to get out of bed in the morning. We've all had it. I mean, I hop out of the bed quickly in the morning, or I get up too fast. You get dizzy. Next thing you know, if you lose your equilibrium, you could fall very quickly, hit your head on a table or on the floor, and get severe injury. Cheryl does a great job she gives you some awareness training on how to anticipate problems happening, hopefully prevent them from happening, and then gives you techniques in the event that if you notice you're falling, how to fall correctly. And I know not that I've used this particular program myself, but I've learned how to fall when I'm out biking. I know that, you know. So when you're out biking, you need to be able to fall correctly so you don't hit your head or break your shoulder.
Right. I was putting up a birdhouse for my wife, and I fell off the ladder. And I think what saved me was the fact that I didn't become rigid.
That's it. Be flexible. Tuck and roll kind of stuff.
Right,
There's
right.
a lot of ways to fall. You know, and I as a kid, and your viewers can laugh a little bit, but I was fascinated with pro wrestling as a kid and watching the WWF back in the day. And as many people would possibly say, I guess it's true that these things were scripted back in the day, that wrestling is just more entertainment. But I'll tell you something, those guys knew how to fall. They could fly off the top rope and get thrown out of the ring and on tables and everything else, but they did that night after night. So those guys knew how to fall. So why not teach the technique to other people so that they can prevent themselves from getting hurt?
Wrestling, yes. I
Pro
watched that
wrestling,
too.
let's go.
Yeah. We are now going to go around the county, so it will be a bit of I guess an opening for this segment, and then we will come back and visit some towns.
I love it. Get our segment
cities
rolling.
in Norfolk County. We figure that's an electric vehicle.
Kind of looks like a moving part on a Monopoly board.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It looks very futuristic. So around the county, let's start with Eddie, the comfort dog, and he visits quite a few places. He gets around, but we do have some photos of him in Bellingham and Westwood.
Yep, and this is he's become the superstar of the department. I hope he doesn't run against me someday, Eddie the Comfort Dog. If they start offering them the opportunity to run, I'd
Wouldn't
lose.
that be an election?
I'd be done. But Eddie has done, and Officer Monahan do a great job. They travel throughout the county, go to Council on Aging, they go to senior homes, they go into schools, they go into hospitals, and it's just an opportunity. Our Comfort Dog program itself does just that. It gives people, it calms the tension and anxiety in people, and people love watching Eddie come around, and he's just such a gentle beast, and does a great job roaming around, and it's great to see him here working with folks throughout the county, Westwood and Bellingham. A lot of folks don't realize that if anybody knows where Bellingham is, especially us Quincy folks, are like, where's Bellingham? But down in the southern part of the county, near the Rhode Island border, I told the people in Norfolk County that we would make sure that our services are offered to every town, not just where the big population bases are. So you'll find us in Bellingham, Plainville, and a few other spots.
And with that said, the very popular Youth Academy,
yes,
that started here in Braintree has now a I suppose, satellite.
We
in
do.
Franklin.
It's a full-time. Well, we pilot it in Franklin, and I believe we've just signed a deal in Medway, which is near Franklin. But Medway is now going to be the home of our second youth leadership camp, and it will be.
Congratulations.
And the difference this year, as opposed to last year, so when we had it in Franklin, we didn't have our ropes course down in Franklin, so we would bus the students up to our Braintree campus to participate in the ropes course. Medway has a ropes course, so it'll be a fully engulfed program right there in the town of Medway for the folks that live in that part of the county. So we're going to be launching that, I think, this month, at least the sign-ups. Braintree's already sold out for the summer, but we are actively looking for people, not just participants, but we're looking for young high school and college students that might want to come and work for us for the summer and be camp counselors. So if anybody's interested, reach out to the sheriff's office.
And that is the Youth Leadership Academy.
Exactly.
We will now end, I guess, this program with a couple of visits that you made to celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
One of my favorite times of the year is the celebration of St. Patrick in the month of March, which usually kicks everything off, kicks spring off in a great way. And I have the opportunity to get invited to many events throughout the county. I do like to sing
in Dedham.
I like to sing a song or two now and then, and this is over at the Dedham Council on Aging. They had 200 plus seniors enjoying a great afternoon of corned beef and cabbage and cocktails and little entertainment, and I had the opportunity to work the room a little bit. It's great to engage the folks in Dedham. And we went to so many different events, I kind of forget half the places. This is Councilor McCarthy in Ward 1 in Quincy had me down to O'Brien Towers, and we entertained some of the guests down there, down in Howes Neck and Germantown, and we enjoyed that so much. This is over in Weymouth, the Weymouth Council on Aging. Packed house as always at the Whipple Center. Got up there and sang a couple of songs with there was a band there, the Silver Spears, I think they're called. They've been around for 47 years, I think, the band said. And so we got up there and did a little ditty or two, and said hello to all the folks here. So it's just great. There's Jeannie Reardon, by the way, in the background of this picture here, if you can see her on the right. Jeannie Reardon used to be my colleague, she was the clerk of the city council when I was on the city council back 1,000 years ago.
Great lady.
And great lady. Jeannie's having a great time in retirement and living down in Weymouth. So, and those are the only ones that you know about. But there were several other places that I did frequent, and the Erie Pub, I went over there and watched the Boston Police Gaelic column and sang to a couple of events down around the county. So I enjoy doing it, but that's why I'm a little hoarse. Have too much singing.
Well, we won't have you perform here today.
Next month, I'll come back.
Fine. Okay, I might pick you up on that. Thanks again for joining us.
Always.
And sharing what's going on in your office with Norfolk County.
Thank you.
And thank you at home for watching. And please remember to support the local access television station in the town in which you reside.